Hey, so my name is Kylie. I'm the person who writes for Animal Fact Files. I also do most of the video editing, but I also wrote a book. It's called Mind-Blowing Facts About the Planet's Strangest Animals. Basically, it's a compendium of more than 60 obscure animals that I would venture to guess you've probably never heard of. Some of these animals are animals that I didn't even know about, so just saying, they're very obscure. As I said, my name's Kylie. I started doing AFF. Basically, I wanted there to be a channel on YouTube. I wanted to watch animal fact videos on YouTube. At the time, there really wasn't something that really caught my eye. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. There were animal content creators on YouTube. It wasn't what I wanted. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna make it. So that's why I started it. It's been like 7 years, 8 years, something like that. It's been almost a decade. I absolutely love my job. It's my favorite job. I think it's so cool. I feel so lucky that I get to do this thing that I love to do every single day. You know, every time that you watch an episode and an ad plays, that helps me continue to live my dream. So thank you so much for all of your support. That if you don't get anything else out of this video, it's that. Thank you. Thank you. You are awesome. We have two cats. Chester, you know fairly well. Chester is the mascot of the channel. He's an all-white kitty cat. He does have heterochromia. He has one green eye and one blue eye. And then you might have seen her once or twice. She is far more difficult to get video of due to her all black coat. It's like a little Halloween cat. And that's Alice. We also have an all black German Shepherd mix. Her name is Mary, like Merry Christmas. She is a very old lady. I think she's 12. At least she's at least 12. She actually has an autoimmune disease. She was diagnosed in the beginning of 2019. I was brushing her teeth and her gums started bleeding, which was weird. And they didn't stop. Her gums would not stop bleeding. So it was like a week of bleeding gums. And we were like, okay, we've got to figure this out. But yeah, come to find out she had immune-mediated thrombocytopenia. But yeah, so her blood wouldn't clot. That's why she kept bleeding. She actually had so few platelets that they couldn't read them when they tried to take her blood. So I called her the glass dog for a little while. But we did get it under control. It took a long time. We were at the vet like once a week for an entire year. We also have a couple scale babies, one of whom is a corn snake who is 20 years old, or he's around 20 years old. I actually won him in a raffle. More about me, I suppose. I'm an avid reader. I specifically tend to gravitate towards fantasy and sci-fi, also like slice of life, I guess. I'm actually currently reading at the suggestion of one of my friends, who's also on YouTube. Their name is Dokuro. I'll plug them in the comments. They make some really awesome music. The Warriors series, which I somehow managed to skip as a young being, and I read it the way I breathe air. I can't consume it fast enough. I like reading, and I generally tend to gravitate towards young adult. I am also into Dungeons and Dragons. I am a DM. I love writing one-shots, kind of like escape room-esque sort of pressure. I love seeing what crazy antics that my player characters get up to. I also do watercolor paintings from time to time. I actually used to sell them at conventions across the East Coast. I used to do Artist Alley. Both Eli and I did Artist Alley. We would make, I would do watercolor paintings. I would do originals, and then we would put together stuffed animals as well. I also really like hiking, but I don't like being too hot or too cold, so I generally don't go outside. I love working out at the gym. It's like one of my favorite places to be is at the gym. Like, even though I wish I could turn off all the lights, like the fluorescent lighting could just go. If I could just like turn off all the lights and work out in the dark, I think that would be like the optimal setting for me. Right now I am listening to Dungeons and Daddies, going right back to that whole Dungeons and Dragons thing. I really like the game. It's fun. Tabletop RPGs are just fun to me. I really like camping. Camping is the one thing that I will do. I will brave the weather for camping because I don't have to move around a whole lot. unless I'm collecting sticks. Otherwise, I'm just like, okay, I'm the fire master. I'm gonna make a fire and keep you all warm, and that's gonna be that. Last time we went camping, actually, we had multiple. We had one bear walk like within like 10 feet of our campsite. It was a little black bear. And then later we were walking down to the lake, and I just on the trail, like like again, like 10 feet in front of us, it was just like, oh, that's a bear. So we just kind of stood there and we were like, okay, we're just gonna let this bear do its bear thing. And it did. It just kept walking, just went on its bear way. So I really like camping. I think it's a really cool way to, I don't know, like disconnect, I suppose. I also do really like conventions, even though we don't sell at them anymore. I really enjoy going to them as an attendee. I have done a couple panels in the past. I've actually thought about doing some panels relating to animals. Is that a thing any of you would like? Would any of you go to a convention to see us do an animal panel? Is that a thing that you would be interested in? Tell me in the comments, because I don't know. So yeah, I do like going out and doing things. However, I am very content just staying at home with my cats. I am also trying to teach myself Blender. That is multifaceted. I want to learn how to do Blender because I generally just like art, and doing 3D art is really cool. So it is a creative release. However, it is also related to work, because if you watch the previous episode about the book, then you'll know that part of the reason I picked obscure animals is because I don't have access to images and videos of many animals, so it makes it a lot more difficult to do videos on them. However, if I get to the point where I can create in Blender accurately enough to represent those animals, that does include dinosaurs, then that would be a way that we could start introducing animals that we otherwise wouldn't be able to introduce. I'm not promising anything. It's something I do in my free time for fun. However, it is something that it's really near and dear to my heart, and I would love to use to expand the channel. I feel like that's a pretty good amount of things to have said about myself. You probably have a better idea that I am absolutely, wholeheartedly, unabashedly a total nerd, a little bit of a freak. Totally okay with that. I shouldn't ever be allowed to have access to a microphone without a script. There's just no telling what's going to happen, and the kind of things that are going to happen that are just not going to be, they're not going to be good. Not going to be good.